Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, entertainment, and lifestyle videos as well. So, tonight we've got a movie review for you of Twisters. So, as you know, I'm asexual. If you didn't know what that means, it means I lack sexual attraction. I discovered I'm asexual in 2014, and I personally am a sex repulsed. For me, asexual. I'm not interested in sex. I don't want it, don't need it, and I don't need to see it. So I try to find movies with no sex in them, and Twisters does not fail in that regard. So, Twisters, what is it all about? If you don't want spoilers, please do not watch this video because when I'm recording this live, Twisters has not long been out at the cinema. So, if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video. The main premise of Twisters is Kate is a tornado chaser. She goes out with her friends and chases these tornadoes, and she has the idea that she can defy all odds basically, and she's got this kind of like mixture that is meant to go up into the atmosphere of tornadoes and absorb the tornado so it doesn't cause devastation and destruction. And she's kind of like got a scientific background, I'm assuming. I wasn't quite clear on her background of how she came up with all this information, but she's got some sort of scientific knowledge and she loves chasing tornadoes. She's a tornado chaser with her friends, but they're more scientific about it. You know, they've got data. One guy's taking the data, the other people are assuming roles within this team, and she goes out and they end up going to this massive tornado and using these barrels on the back of a trailer of their car. The barrels are meant to fling open the tops and go into the tornado and absorb it, but something goes wrong. The barrels kind of go over. The tornado is much more higher speed and impact than they thought, and one of the people in the car is her boyfriend. And there's also people, there's one person doing the data in another car, Javi, and there's her boyfriend in the car with her and two other people. And the tornado is that bad that it literally causes it causes basically so much havoc. And the tornado is that bad that the boyfriend and the other two people in the car, which are friends of theirs, and taking part in this event with this tornado where they're trying to do research basically, the tornado's that bad that her boyfriend gets her, Kate, to safety as much as possible. So it's in like this, it's like a building type thing, like I think it's like a bridge or something, and he said like hold on to the bar, and they had to climb up it, and I think it's like underneath something. It's like underneath a tunnel or something. I don't really understand exactly what it was, but it's a structure, and he's going up it, walking up, and then Kate's he grabs on Kate saying, you know, come on, hold on to this bar. And then the two other people that are friends of Kate's, he's like trying to get Kate to pull them up, and one of them falls back and then goes in the tornado and basically is killed, and then the next one goes. And so Kate is there with her boyfriend on top of her, and you think hopefully the tornado will go away, everything will be okay. And then all of a sudden you see Kate's boyfriend literally flying off into the tornado, dead. And so Kate loses three friends. Well, she loses a boyfriend and two friends in that tornado when she's been tornado chasing. And then Javi, who was the person doing the date, was in a different car and he manages to escape. And so then it goes to years later, and Kate works for this company like as a consultant on tornadoes and storms and things like that. And so she's not chasing in the field chasing tornadoes anymore. She's got a consultancy job So she's took a step back from tornado chasing. She's not interested in that anymore. She's devastated that she lost her boyfriend and friends. She hardly ever goes and visits her mum. She's become like a different person, more withdrawn and like doesn't want to go in the danger. Whereas before she was a tornado chaser and totally into the thrill and danger of the tornadoes. I didn't actually understand how they were going to make this film very riveting, but I have to say this film is really good. Twisters is really good, and yes, I would recommend going and seeing it because they have made something that seems like, oh, okay, it's a bunch of tornadoes. What can happen with that? And there's only a couple of things like people running away, people dying maybe, and people getting out and injured, and people go after it, and that you kind of think that's it. But they have made a whole storyline, dramatic, kind of thrilling storyline out of tornadoes with humor and romance put in it as well. It's really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I was shocked at how much they've packed into a movie just about tornadoes. I thought it was going to be a bit boring, but it was actually really, really good the way they've done everything. So when Kate's in this consultancy job, years later, her friend Javi, Javi, comes to where she works and says he now works for a company and he's got this equipment and he's got this up-to-date equipment that basically is a new groundbreaking. I'm reading from Wikipedia this little bit. I wasn't a minute ago, but I have to admit I am now because I was trying to remember what it's called. It just says to test a groundbreaking new tracking system. That's all they've called it. They haven't called it a certain name. So I'll flick back to my channel now. And so basically, yeah, the test is like a tracking device, but it's different. They have to put these 4 things out. So they're kind of like like satellites when they're in the sky, but they're on the ground, and they've got those kind of wings by the look of them, and it's about a bit like a grid, and it soaks things like stuff into it, like atmospheres or whatever. They look a bit like that. And basically, Javi's got a guy who's like his partner in what he does, and there's a team of people, and he goes to the office where Kate works and say, we need to chase tornadoes. We've got this new tracking device and we need to be able to do this. But he logics it out because he said to Kate, people are dying, like villages are being and towns are being wiped out because of these tornadoes, and if we don't find what's causing them and try to stop them, we're going to have loads more lives killed and devastated, and it's destruction. So they've made it really personal. So Kate's like goes with Javi, hears all this, what he wants her to do, and he wants her to be a tornado chaser again. And she's saying, look, I don't chase tornadoes anymore. Good luck. And he said, I can only do this if you come on board. You're the top tornado chaser, because she's got like this intuition where she can tell from what angle the tornado is coming at, the speed it's going to be at, to do with the wind and just to do with the way things are, the wind's blowing in certain directions. And she's meant to be the best at her job, which is tornado chasing, but from a point of view, she can just understand what basically what speed they're at, which direction they're coming from, where they're going to be. So he needs her help to put this state-of-the-art equipment with his team in place so he can track these tornadoes, get all the data he needs so that they can get a solution on how to stop these tornadoes. And it requires, like I said, these kind of like panels, and they've got to be placed in like a triangle. But there's one last part to that, and that's the fact that Kate and Jarvis got to go in the middle of the tornado. So there's like 3, but there's a bit in the middle that he leaves to last to tell her. And she doesn't think that she's going to be going near a tornado again, and she has to go into the tornado. And the first time they go out in the field together, it doesn't work. But they bring this other plot, this other like parallel storyline, which becomes part of this storyline, where they have a guy, and this guy is Tyler, and he is a media sensation. He's an influencer. So I think they've given this a huge modern twist. So Twisters has got a huge modern twist. And I loved this storyline because I thought it was going to be a bit boring, if I'm honest. I thought, what can they do with this movie? And it was really good. First of all, it's really dramatic with the fact she lost her actual boyfriend as well as friends, 2 of them. And and then, you get swept up in the fact that these people are dying. Villages, the news is on where the villages and towns are being wiped out by these tornadoes. You're seeing the devastation. And they have a couple of storylines that get interweaving. One is Tyler, who's this megamaniac when it comes to tornadoes. He's a tornado chaser, but he does it. You think he does it all for fame, right? And he has literally got a crew behind him. And his crew is kind of very, very new world, new age, where they're like kind of so far out, man, type thing. And they look with tornado chasing. So they're opposite of Kate now. So Kate used to be like, love the thrill of the tornado, but she's really scared. She doesn't like chasing tornadoes. She doesn't like working with Jarvie. She doesn't like doing that thing, but she realizes that if she doesn't, lives are going to die. And so she wants to help him from that point of view. But the first time they try to do the tornado thing, it doesn't go well because she gets scared. And instead of going into the tornado, which they have to go for the final part of his data collection, along with the triangle of the three like solar panels. They look like solar panels. They're not solar panels, they're like data panels, but they have to go in the ground to make sure they're fixed. And the last bit of the puzzle is basically they've got to go in the middle of the tornado, but she can't do it. She ends up sending them in the wrong direction. Meanwhile, there's a couple of other storylines that start divulging and diverting. Is the fact with Tyler. Tyler comes and tries to interfere with Kate and Jarvie's research. And Tyler appears and he's got this van. He's got this van behind him, as well as this. He's got like a van as well as another vehicle behind him. And he's got like, it might be two vans actually. And basically, oh no, he's just like they got this van behind him and like this car with all metal parts and stuff on it. So it makes it look like it's really hard to get into, like an army style car, but it's got loads and loads of gadgets on it. That's right, I remember now. And he is crazy. He's hot-headed. He's crazy. He likes diving into tornadoes. He loves the chase. And they've got so many good bits in this movie. I was shocked. So they got a British guy, right, who's very posh, who's a reporter, and he's out in the field with Tyler. And so Tyler's this like Yahoo cowboy type guy with his friend who's doing all the videos. And this is for like his YouTube channel. And his YouTube channel is meant to have, I think, millions of views. And Tyler's like this very charming guy who's got this big character personality, and he just dives into tornadoes and don't give a shit really of the consequences. And he just thinks it's fun, and he can't get hurt. And he's this macho kind of like masculine guy that I guess loads of women would like, and charming, charismatic to go with it if you're into that type of thing. And his cameraman is like a friend of his. I think his cameraman's like, I don't know, his cameraman looked a bit Indian actually. And so they're like in this car, but this reporter, the contrast between Tyler and his crew, because he's got like this cameraman, he's got and he's got a couple of two or three other people as well, and they're all kind of like new age. They're all kind of like, oh man, this is a tornado. It's like their life. It's like, they don't have rules and regulations like Kate has to abide by regulations with Jarvie, and it's all paperwork, it's all structured, like get all this like experimentation going, lives can be saved. It's all done in a very structured clinical manner. And Tyler's the opposite. He's like, let's just get it done. Let's get the raw footage. Let's be in the moment. A bit like this channel with me not being polished. It's like raw in the moment, in your face type stuff, if you like that. Not as probably in your face as Tyler is. But you know what I mean? It's very raw and real. And he's got millions of viewers, basically. And he's meant to be kind of I think he's very famous in the tornado chasing world. And so he just like takes the footage, and it's the opposite. It's total contrast. And Kate's very scared at this point, and do you know what happens? The tornado comes, Kate goes off in the wrong direction, and Tyler and his crew are literally trying to come next to Kate and Jarvie and try and battle to get to the tornado first. Jarvie and Kate are supposed to be doing real research to help people to live. And she thinks he's like a cowboy, and it's not just with his looks, but his whole attitude. And it's like, you just don't take anything seriously. All you care about is your ego. You don't care about the people. It's all about you, you, you. He's got t-shirts with himself on. And it's really interesting because I've just created some t-shirts, and some of them, Diary Confessions of a Hyper-Romantic Asexual. So I've created Diary Confessions Ace Your Life merch, and one of them's got a picture of me on, saying "Be bold, be brave, be bold, be you, be bold, be authentic, be you" on there. So I got them out on Amazon now. I was trying them out because obviously Diary Confessions is my own book, and I'm proud of the book, and I want people to be their authentic self, and that's kind of like the premise of the Diary Confessions book, in case you didn't know that. So I'm all about being raw, be authentic, real, and bold. But Kate seems to see Tyler as this egotistical maniac, I think, that goes into tornadoes. She kind of likes his spirit, though. She's attracted to him. Not so much at first, but she becomes more and more attracted to him because he's like a free spirit. He has the essence of what she was like when she was a tornado chaser before her ex-boyfriend, boyfriend at the time, died, and her friends died. So he's got that free spirit that she does actually love in a guy. So Tyler and her, throughout the movie, when they first meet each other, they're competing. They're in the cars and they're competing. He's trying to cut Jarvie and Kate off, nearly causing them to crash and stuff like that. So he's kind of meant to be a little bit of the villain in this movie in some ways, like that, in part of the movie, right? But things do change. It's very cleverly done. And this reporter, he's like a very prim and proper reporter from the UK, got this very posh voice. And so he's used to not getting his hands dirty. Do you know what I mean? He like dresses like in like a shirt and trousers, looks really smart, and he's like, "Oh yes. Oh, should I film you now? Should we do this now?" It's all kind of like a posh voice. And then as he's going more and more with Tyler, he's like so like just in the trenches, and it's the opposite to his personality. It's kind of like raw, prim and proper, and you can't be like that. And what happens is Tyler and his cameraman and this guy from London, the UK, I think he's from London, this British guy, reporter, he's meant to be doing a piece on Tyler and tornado chasing, because Tyler's meant to be famous on YouTube or whatever, famous influencer. So he goes in the car with Tyler and the cameraman, and on this car that's kind of like not a normal car, it's had some work done to it, so it's been adapted for tornado weather. It's got these things either side, and they're for rockets, like firework rockets. And so they fill these up. This cameraman like hands outside the window, fills these up, and they literally drive in the tornado. It's really amazing special effects. They drive in the tornado, go up through it, and this guy who's the reporter has to strap it, and he has to have like the seatbelt that comes like over and across him, and they literally dive up into the tornado with all these rocket fireworks going off in the middle of the tornado, and you're thinking, oh my effing lord. But they don't go right up because they've got this like drill piece that keeps it grounded. So they're like go into the tornado, then quickly put these drill bits down and then shoot the rockets up. But they're like meant to be in the middle of the tornado shooting these rockets up it. It's really scary, like the way they do it. It's really cleverly done. So you've always got like characters, and then you find Jarvie, who's gathering all this data. You find out throughout the movie, as the movie goes on, that Jarvie pretty much has been in love with Kate, even though she had a boyfriend and he couldn't be with her originally. And then Tyler ends up having feelings for her. So she ends up in a love triangle as the movie progresses, because she's not interested in Tyler for a while then, but she does like his charm, really, because he reminds her of how she used to be. And as the movie progresses, she actually gets closer to Tyler. Jarvie's her friend, and Jarvie seems to have loved her from before but didn't have the guts to tell her. And then Tyler, what happens is Kate ends up finding out that Tyler isn't this egotistical maniac that people portray him as. The reason he's got these t-shirts on sale with his face is because he actually donates the proceeds of that, the profits of that, to people who have lost their lives, or lost their not lost their lives, lost Not lost their lives because they'd be dead, wouldn't they? I meant lost the lives that they knew, you know, because they got no home anymore to go to. They're devastated and they lost people they love. So these proceeds from these t-shirts and mugs that he's got with his face on and stuff, they actually go towards helping people who are now technically on the streets because they got no home because a tornado blew it away and killed some of their family. So he's actually using it for good. And Jarvie, this is a bit of a twist for twisters. Jarvie, who's been her friend for years, she finds out that he is working for a corporation where the guy, he has a deal with this guy, and this guy is literally going around buying all the land up when tornadoes have destroyed people's homes. And he is profiting off that and making a lot of money. So the guy will go in and he'll make a low offer of well, I presume it's low, of insurance for these people's homes, which is no longer a home, it's just basically some land. They'll usually accept because they got no money because their house has just been blasted away by a tornado. And that's who goes around buying loads of land up when people are the most vulnerable. And she finds out this about him, and she realizes Tyler's actually the good guy, and Jarvie in this situation is not the good guy. And so it's a very twist. There's twists and there's twister. And so, and then basically Tyler gets closer and closer, and they end up going, like joining forces to go and and go into a tornado together. But things go wrong, and there ends up being there ends up being lots of people killed in different villages and towns. And Kate basically says to Jarvie, like she can't believe he's profiting from that, and you know what I mean. And so it's quite devastating. And then towards the very end of the movie, you have Kate, Tyler, and Jarvie like in a love triangle, but you have Kate having to overcome her fears of going back into a tornado in order to save the lives of people and do the experiment that went wrong years ago. Because I know I told you she had these barrels full of stuff that was meant to absorb the tornado so that it would stop it, dispel it. So, disintegrate, if you like, dispel it. So it didn't harm anyone. That was the whole thing the experiment that went wrong with her boyfriend and friends who died in the beginning of the movie. And she goes to stay with her mum because she hasn't been close to her mum. She goes to stay with her mum, and Tyler finds her, and the mum has Tyler stay in the spare room with her, and you can tell that he ends up talking to Kate's mum, and Kate's like, "Mum, like, I hope you know what you're letting yourself in for," meaning that he loves Kate, clearly, or wants to have a relationship with her. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm beginning to know," and so it's a really kind of twist because obviously you got a love triangle with the two guys loving Kate, and it's like which one is she going to pick in the end? And she has to go in the middle of a tornado to save lives in the end, and it's like which lives are saved and which lives are not. And I'm not going to tell you the answer to that because you can watch the movie, because I've told you a lot of the movie already, but it's a really, really good movie. Great special effects. I love the storylines that they've interwoven, should I say. The storyline, first of all, of Kate being like this happy-go-lucky free person who was a tornado chaser, and then like absolutely devastated by the death of her boyfriend and friends, then becomes a consultant, then meets her like arch rival, if you know what I mean, Tyler, and ends up like, "Hi Lee." That sounds like a good one. It's a very good one. And then, Tyler's like our rival for quite a lot of the movie, and then they end up getting to work together and things progress between them. Yeah, so I don't want to give it all away, but it is a really good movie. I was absolutely shocked at how good a movie it was. By the way, your audio is peaking. All right, is it? Shouldn't be, but it's probably because I'm getting excited, but it's on the usual levels. So yeah, but when I get excited, it does go up a bit because my voice goes up. So, but I'm using my Mac, MacBook Pro, so it might be a problem with my MacBook Pro. When you say peaking, does it mean it's going? It usually means it's going higher, doesn't it? Sometimes my audio goes a bit bitty if I need more updates to my MacBook Pro, but I hope you can hear me all right. But yeah, this is definitely a film I would go and watch. There's no sex in it. There is some romance in it, but it's not full-on romance really, because obviously they're dealing with the tornadoes. So that's the main part of the film, and the interwoven lives. And there is some really, like, there's quite a few deaths in this. So I don't like death, but I think it's good that they haven't made everyone just survive, if you know what I mean. And I think that the storyline of kind of the arch rivals then become, and the person who she thought was her enemy is actually the opposite, and the person who she thought was her friend is actually could be kind of the enemy at one point of the movie. It's kind of very interesting. I really love it. I definitely recommend going to see it. I thought it was a much better movie than I ever dreamed it could be, because I just thought, like, how are they going to make this movie interesting? But it was really interesting. It was, you actually felt euphoric when you're watching it. You're in the action. The special effects are amazing, and because Tyler's a social media influencer, I think it's very modern. It's a very modern twist, so you can really relate to it. Like, he's like all about like cowboy hats. It's all about this big show, but it's kind of like big personality, big show, but he's keeping it real, and actually doesn't have all these rules and regulations and stuff. On your louder syllables, the level exceeds maximum, briefly distorts, and probably would help to... Oh, right. Well, I have it on the same amount every single day, which is this. I don't monitor my actual voice. When I'm doing it, I put it up like to full apart from 2 bars. So yeah, because otherwise it could get too quiet. It depends what device people are using as well. People watch me on all different devices. Some people watch me on their TV. So yeah, I don't hear that obviously in the studio, but if I put it up full, this is full, right? This is probably really loud now. This is down 2 bars. But obviously when I get more excitable, it's going to go up more. Which, it's better than being monotone. But I will, I listened to quite a few of mine. But anyway, it's pretty much finished the movie review now, because yeah, go and watch it. It's a really excellent movie. I'd really encourage you to see it. I like the characters. The guy who plays their friend, Jarvie, he's actually really good looking. I've seen him something else before. He's really nice looking, but anyway, foreign young guy, not young, 30s in real life, 32, but there we go. But yeah, I love the movie. I just go and see it. There's quite a lot of like moments like, are they gonna make it or not? So yeah, I think it's very good. Definitely go and see it. Give it a watch. It's a no sex movie. It's really nice. I think loads of asexuals would like it, because even the romance is not full on romantic, and it's more suggested than actually, you don't really see much action in that way. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this movie review. Definitely check it out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit this bell icon on this channel if you want to have more videos like this and more videos from me. I do lifestyle videos on this channel, entertainment videos, information, education, so it is a real mix of stuff. And yes, Lee Anthony Ramos, that's the name of the guy who I think is very good looking. But some people might think the guy who plays Tyler is really good looking, because that's probably a lot of people's type. But I'm more into different looking guys. But yes, definitely check it out and subscribe and hit the bell icon and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I really appreciate you being here. And I do have a playlist of no sex movie reviews, which I will have to update because I've done a couple more lately. But there's lots of past movie reviews I've done, so please check them out if you haven't already done so. You can just go to my channel, scroll down the front page, and it will have like playlists, and one of them is no sex movie reviews. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Lee. Thanks everyone that's been watching. I'll see you soon on the next video live stream. Take care and see you soon. Stay ace.